Welcome to the Sky Lab Studio. I'm Sasha. We've already seen how difficult Dave's current data journey can be, and Dave represents a typical data consumer. He could be working in operations, policy, analytics, research, finance, project delivery, almost any part of any organisation. Dave doesn't want to become a data expert. He simply wants to find the right data, understand it, and use it to do his job. Previously, Dave searched across disconnected systems, contacted multiple teams, waited for approval, and eventually gained access, but only to discover that the data may not be suitable or trustworthy. Now, let's look at Dave's future journey and see how an Enterprise Data Catalogue can support effective data governance and provide a much better experience. The following representation artifact poster presents Bob's future state journey in several connected steps. Dave begins in a central Enterprise Data Catalogue where he can search for the data using familiar business language. He can then review the available metadata in business context, identify the accountable owner and data stewards, assess the information for such as data quality, lineage, classification, and usage guidance. Then he can review the available metadata. He can submit a governed access request. That request can be routed to the correct owner, connected to the organization's approval and provisioning processes, and track it through to completion. Once access has been approved, Dave can use the data with greater confidence because he has already understand what it means, where it came from, who's responsible for it, and whether it's suitable for his requirement. The Enterprise Data Catalogue does not replace the underlying data system or automatically remove every access control. It provides a central discovery point, metadata, business context, and governance connections to bring that journey together. Instead of repeating searching, guessing, emailing, waiting, starting again, Dave can follow an interconnected journey. Discover, understand, identify ownership, trust the asset, request access, receive access, and use the data. So now let's hear from the improved journey from Dave's perspective.
Hi, I'm Data Dave, and my journey now starts in one place, the Enterprise Data Catalog. Step 1, start with the Enterprise Data Catalog. Previously, I had to search through shared drives, databases, spreadsheets, emails, and team folders. I often relied on knowing the right person to ask, and if I asked the wrong person, I could lose days being passed between different teams. Now, I simply enter the business words that describe the information I need. For example, I can search for monthly performance data without knowing the database name, the technical system, or which team owns it. The catalog brings together information about registered data from across the organization. It presents potentially relevant data products and data assets in one place. The underlying data remains within its source systems and continues to be protected by the appropriate access controls. The catalog gives me a central place to discover what data exists and where it is held. I spend less time searching. I no longer need to contact multiple teams, and I am less likely to duplicate work that has already been completed. Instead of beginning my journey with uncertainty, I can quickly discover what is available and move to the next step, finding and understanding the right data product for my requirement. Step 2, find and understand the right data product. My next step is to decide which data product is right for my requirement. However, the Enterprise Data Catalog is not magic. It is only useful when the metadata has been properly enriched, maintained, and kept up to date. I need a clear business description explaining what the data product contains, why it was created, its intended purpose, and how it should be used. Glossary terms provide agreed definitions for important business concepts. A data dictionary explains the individual fields and columns, including their meaning, format, and permitted values. I also need data quality information. This might include completeness, accuracy, consistency, timeliness, known issues, limitations, and when the data was last updated. Without this enrichment, the catalog could become just another search screen filled with technical names that I do not understand. When the metadata is properly enriched, I can compare similar data products, understand the differences between them, and determine which one is most appropriate for my requirement. The benefit is that I can make an informed decision before requesting access. I am less likely to choose the wrong data product, wait for access, and then discover that it is incomplete, outdated, or unsuitable. Instead of thinking, this could be the right data, but I'm not sure, I can make a much better informed choice. Now that I have identified a suitable data product, I need to know who is accountable for it, who maintains its metadata, and who can answer my questions. Step 3, clear ownership and stewardship. Now that I have identified a suitable data product, I need to know who is responsible for it. Previously, this meant contacting different teams, sending emails, and relying on personal knowledge. I could spend days trying to find somebody who could answer a simple question. The Enterprise Data Catalog now shows me the people and responsibilities connected to the data product. I can identify the data product owner who is accountable for the data product and the decisions made about it. I can also see the data steward who maintains its business descriptions, definitions, data dictionary, quality information, and other governance metadata. Where appropriate, the catalog can identify a subject matter expert or business contact who can explain how the data is used. It can also identify a support or technical contact who can help with access or system-related questions. These responsibilities may belong to different people. The person who understands the data may not be the person who approves access, and the approver may not be the person who applies permissions within the source system. For this to work, the roles must be clearly defined, assigned to the correct people, and regularly reviewed. Simply adding an outdated name to the catalog does not create effective accountability. The benefit for me is clarity. I know who can answer my questions, who is accountable for the data product, and where to go if I need support. Instead of asking, who owns this data? I can contact the right person directly and continue my journey without unnecessary emails, calls, and delays. My next step is to examine the available governance information and decide whether I can trust the data for my intended purpose. Step 4. Understand and trust the data. Before I request access, I need to decide whether I can trust the data product for my intended purpose. The Enterprise Data Catalog brings together the information I need to make that assessment. I can review data quality results showing whether the data product meets defined expectations for completeness, accuracy, consistency, and timeliness. However, a high data quality score does not automatically mean that the data is suitable for every purpose. Data quality is contextual. For example, monthly aggregated data might be suitable for strategic reporting, but unsuitable for an operational decision that requires daily information. I can also review the data lineage to understand where the data originated, which systems it has passed through, and how it may have been transformed. The catalog can show me when the data was last updated, how frequently it is refreshed, its security classification, any known limitations and guidance explaining how it should or should not be used. This information provides evidence of trust. The catalog does not simply tell me to trust the data. It helps me make an informed judgment about whether the data is relevant, governed, and fit for my particular purpose. If something is unclear, I already know which data product owner, data steward, subject matter expert, or business contact I can speak to before continuing. The benefit is that I can identify potential problems before requesting access. I am much less likely to complete the entire access process, only to discover that the data is outdated, incomplete, or unsuitable. Once I am confident that this is the right data product, I can move to the next step and submit a governed access request. Step 5. Submit a governed access request. Once I am confident that I have found the right data product, I can submit a governed access request. Instead of sending an informal email or searching for the correct service management form, I can begin the request directly from the data product's catalog entry. The request is already connected to the relevant data product and, where appropriate, its underlying data assets. I can explain why I need the data, how I intend to use it, the type of access required, and how long I need that access. Because the catalog identifies the accountable data product owner and relevant approvers, the request can be routed to the correct people. Depending on the organization's technology, this may be managed through a workflow within the catalog, or through an integration with an existing service management or access request system. The catalog does not automatically give me access to the underlying data. My request still needs to be assessed against the organization's policies, security requirements, and access controls. The benefit is that the process is structured, consistent, and repeatable. The approver receives the information needed to make a decision, and I do not need to repeat the same details across disconnected emails and forms. The request is also recorded, creating a clear audit trail of what I requested, why I requested it, and who reviewed it. Instead of wondering where to submit my request or who needs to approve it, I can follow a clear and transparent process. My request can now move efficiently into the approval and technical provisioning stages. Step 6. Streamlined approval and provisioning. My access request now moves through a connected approval and provisioning process. The data product owner or another authorized approver reviews my business justification, the type of access requested, and any relevant security or governance requirements. If my request is approved, it can be passed to the team or system responsible for applying the permissions within the underlying data source. This is an important distinction. Approval confirms that I am authorized to receive access, but provisioning is the technical action that gives me that access. The approver may not have permission to make that technical change. Provisioning could be completed by a system administrator, data platform team, service desk, or another authorized access provider. The Enterprise Data Catalog can connect these stages through workflows and integrations with the organization's existing service management, identity management, or access management systems. I can follow the progress of my request, see whether any additional information is required, and receive a notification when access has been provisioned. This only works effectively when the approval responsibilities, technical processes, and system integrations have been clearly defined. Technology cannot streamline a process that the organization itself has not agreed. The benefit is a connected and traceable journey. Requests are routed consistently, decisions are recorded, delays are easier to identify, and there is a clear audit trail from my original request through to the access being provided. Instead of chasing different teams and asking what happens next, I can see where my request is and what still needs to happen. Once I am notified that access has been provisioned, I can move to the final step, using the data with confidence. Step 7, access and use the data with confidence. I have now received access to the underlying data and can begin using it for my work. The difference is that I am not accessing the data for the first time and simply hoping that it is correct. Before requesting access, I have already reviewed the data product's business description, definitions, data dictionary, ownership, lineage, quality information, refresh frequency, security classification, known limitations, and usage guidance. I understand what the data means, where it came from, and whether it is suitable for my intended purpose. I also know which access controls and conditions I must follow, particularly when the data product contains sensitive, personal, or restricted information. The catalog remains my reference point. If I have a question, discover a quality problem, or identify missing information, I know which data product owner, data steward, or subject matter expert to contact. My feedback can then be used to correct and improve the catalog information for future data consumers. The benefit is that I can spend less time searching for data, chasing approvals, and validating basic information, and more time analyzing the data and delivering useful outcomes. I can produce insights more quickly, support better informed decisions, and reduce the risk of using the wrong or misunderstood data. My confidence does not come from the catalog simply telling me that the data is trustworthy. It comes from the evidence, context, and governance information that allow me to make an informed decision. My old journey was fragmented, manual, and uncertain. My new journey is connected, governed, transparent, and repeatable. I can discover, understand, trust, request, access, and use data with greater confidence and focus on the job I originally wanted to do.